Hello, hello, blushers. Excuse my tired eyes. 2-year-old, 3-year-old kept me awake all night last night, the night before, the night before, the night before that. So I feel like shit. So today we're going to speak about self-hypnosis. More importantly that, how do you use self-hypnosis to really shift that pattern of blushing? Excessive blushing, intense blushing, blushing that's just insecure blushing. So every time you think of blushing, you feel that you're going to blush. You feel you have to avoid situations, not express yourself, and so on and so forth. You know, that's the really frustrating pattern. If people don't resolve, it can get worse and worse and worse over the course of years or decades. Often people come and see me, sometimes in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and this pattern of blushing, you know, when it started off was something that, you know, they found frustrating and it caused them a lot of pain maybe in their teenage years. But over time, it's caused a full-on social anxiety where now they feel that they can't express themselves in any situation. You know, and the key trigger for that is because they're worried about the thought that they might blush, that people might judge them, that they might look a certain way. And it's just literally caused so much adrenaline and cortisol, which are the two stress hormones, to be released over and over and over again over the years. And just so you know, every single time you run through that pattern of blushing, it strengthens it. So over the years, unless you do something about it, it does get worse and worse and worse. So how can you use self-hypnosis to break this pattern once and for all? Well, firstly, I want you to look at it as a pattern. So you can see it is something that's got different facets to it, but it goes round and round and round, and you have to really break that pattern and move forward in a different direction. For example, if your feelings, your thoughts, and your actions are all in alignment, it can strengthen a pattern in either direction. If your feelings, thoughts, and actions are in alignment towards blushing is the most horrific thing, most worst thing that I've ever had it, and I don't want it, and I can't experience it ever, and it's horrific, then naturally it's going to get worse. But what self-hypnosis is about is really interrupting those unconscious parts of the pattern you're not aware of, and often they're the strongest parts of the pattern, but they're things that people just don't have much conscious aware of on their day-to-day normal lives. What happens is, just listening to a self-hypnosis recording once, begin to interrupt those patterns, but knowing that each time you do something, every time those suggestions go round and round and round in your mind, they influence your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviours more and more and more. So literally, the same as when you blush when you were 10 years old, probably doesn't bother you, probably bothers you much, much more now you're 20, or so on and so forth. It's exactly the same as that. But the good thing about interrupting a pattern is it's much, much quicker than it is necessary to build a pattern. And you want to know in yourself as well, you don't really want to never blush again, because firstly it's not realistic, but what you really want is to remove any of the negative associations that blushing has caused in your life. Because if you could blush, but it literally didn't bother you at all in any way, shape or form, would it matter to you? The answer's no, of course it wouldn't matter to you. And knowing that as well, when you get to that point where blushing doesn't bother you as much, it happens, but it just doesn't bother you as much, you think about it less, you focus on it less, you feel neutral towards it, and you take actions that support you moving forward and away from it. And in that situation, you do blush less and less and less, which is the biggest frustration, isn't it? So know this, anything that you place as important in your mind, whatever it is, your brain strengthens that pattern. So every time so you've got your focus of attention, what you're thinking about, what you're focusing on right now, anything you focus on strengthens in your neurology. Does that make sense? Good. So if I constantly think about something which I don't like, it strengthens the very pattern and all the associations around it that I fucking don't like. It strengthens the thoughts, the feelings, the associations, the triggers. It strengthens everything continuously, which is the biggest frustration, isn't it? So the purpose of this is knowing that often people are confused what to do with their blushing, but self-hypnosis is a fantastic tool because it's simple. You can just literally sit there, rewire your brain every single day, literally just 30 minutes a day, which isn't a lot of time, really, is it? You know, 30 minutes a day takes that massive difference. And what you'll find is that your brain will begin to pick up momentum. So you'll find it more difficult to get in those old patterns, more difficult to feel and think the way you did before, and easier to move forward in a way that's right for yourself. And every single day that you listen to it, it grows stronger and stronger and stronger. It doesn't just grow stronger, it has a more positive effect on you. You're more responsive to those words, those ideas, those associations. So what you may find is initially, the first time you might listen to a self-hypnosis tape, it might be confusing, it might be conflicting, but that conflict is what you want, because then that conflict interrupts that old pattern, breaks it over and over and over again to move you forward in a way that's right for you. Now the program I set up below is 28 days. 28 days is a good amount of time because what you really want to do is pick up momentum. if you pick up momentum, you don't have to cure your blushing in 28 days. You don't have to never blush again for the rest of your life. But you have to break the pattern enough that literally the momentum stopped. Because that's the biggest frustration, isn't it? You've probably reached a point right now where it's naturally moving forward and you're feeling worse, your thoughts are more insecure, you're feeling more anxious, more social anxious, you're avoiding things more, and the trigger's getting stronger and stronger. And that's the frustration, because when someone's in that position, we feel worried, we feel overwhelmed. Self-hypnosis is a simple tool to continuously, systematically, every single day break that pattern, to reduce your blushing in intensity and frequency, to break the triggers down so you don't respond as intense or as nervous or as anxious, or the reaction begins to slow down. And what will happen is your confidence will begin to rise. As your confidence begins to rise, you begin to feel, well, it's not much of a problem anymore. I can deal with these situations. And as you do that, it builds and builds and builds. The reason why I put 4 different self-hypnosis recordings in this course is firstly because what you want different sides to focus on at different points. And the goal of this is, if I just go on one recording, what often happens is this. Say if you go and listen to a recording online, it's great for relaxation, you can relax more and more. When it's spoken words, what will often happen is once someone's listened to it for a few weeks, they'll begin to get bored of it, or they'll begin to listen to it like their favourite song, where you know the words are coming, and therefore it has a different impact on you. The goal of giving you 4 different recordings is this, that you can swap each one every single day, and therefore over the course of 28 days, you'll never really pick up on remembering it word for word, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to say. So you'll still have that automatic, responsive, strong reaction, which is what you want. So the goal is that each recording you listen to 4 days in a row. So you listen to one recording, then the second recording, and then obviously every 4 days you go back to the start. And the goal of that is it builds and builds and builds, focusing on different layers, focusing on helping you with techniques to stop your blushing, focusing on helping with the triggers so that you don't respond as strongly, helping you with associating relaxation, calmness, comfort with blushing, so your body doesn't release as much stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, and just put you in almost calmer, more comfortable, more relaxed state. Good, I hope that helps. That makes a lot of sense. If you want to join the course, click the link below. I've got 2 places left because 6 people have contacted me already, and this is something that's going to help you in a way that's right for yourself. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, well, I'm exhausted. The kids kept me awake all night and I don't know what's going on. Take care.